Hi, I'm John Mons. We present to you Black Fire, a documentary followed by a panel discussion with key players. Black Fire explores the origins of the Washington, D.C. independent record label that created the soundtrack for the 1970s black political activism that changed the world. Immediately following the documentary, stick around for an engaging conversation with the executive producer, Plunky Branch, and Sharvis Campbell, plus a special performance you won't want to miss.
Black Fire is about revolution, rebellion, charting new territories and new pathways.
We were entrepreneurs. We were starting our own record labels.
Black Fire is history.
Black Fire is magic. Black Fire is power.
If you listen to most of the music that came out of Black Fire and out of DC, it was a message. It was a message to the people.
Massively influential. Black Fire really documented the aesthetic of Washington, D.C. and brought it to the world.
It was bringing that African culture back. Black Fire was part of the movement to a better place.
It really is an embodiment of Black power. All these political movements have been going on to empower Black people, and Black Fire Records is sort of a cultural arm of that.
Black art, Black creativity. Black Fire is present and past, and we're still here to last.
Black Fire, the flame that burns forever.
And you're listening to WGTB FM, Washington, D.C., 90.1 on your FM dial. Black Fire.
In the early 70s, things started to change our frame of mind, our thinking.
At that point, realizing that we had to fight for our lives, for our progress.
It is the word black that bothers people in this country, and that's their problem, not mine.
It was more evident that we were held back.
Really in the 1970s, when DC, this post-civil rights movement, post-1968 riots that had decimated many areas like U Street, like Shaw, historically Black areas, that really was this fertile place for arts and cultures to thrive.
A lot of what was happening in the country at the time was sort of a blown up image of what was going on in Washington. Certainly in the case of the Black Power movement, and Black arts was flourishing.
I moved to San Francisco Bay Area in 1968-69 to pursue the life of a jazz musician. I met a man, Ndiko Aba. Ndiko was a Zulu from South Africa. He was living in exile here, and I played with his band, Ndiko and the Natives, for 2 years. He taught me all about African music. Under him, I learned that African music is always polyrhythmic. The energy that you use, the spirituality in it, the effect that it has on the community or the village or the family was much more important than the individual idea of being proficient on an instrument. It was all about how that music could be used socially, culturally, politically. It was also, music was, in Ndiko's terms, music was a political tool, if not a weapon. He taught us that we could use this music to rally people. We could use the music to educate people about what was going on in the world.
African culture is based on universal forces as opposed to individual material things.
When I left his group, I formed a group called Juju. Juju was 3 of the members that had been with Ndiko's group and 3 other members. It was going to be an African polyrhythmic avant-garde jazz group.
I graduated in '73, and I moved home for a short time. And I think during the time I was at home, Plunky called me and asked me would I consider singing with him. My first recording with Plunky in the studio was awesome. But I remember many hours where I was sleeping on the couch waiting to record. And he would always make me know that you only got one take. Even if I wanted to go back and repeat something, no, one take. I later met Jimmy Gray, who was Blackfire.